dodge this.
In 1999, the Wachowskis, let's be honest, changed the cultural landscape with their first film, The Matrix. There has been many spoofs, the MTV spoofs, the SNL spoofs, everyone has spoofed Bullet Time, a lot of shitty films, then did Bullet Time. They changed the cultural zeitgeist with The Matrix and with its follow-up sequels. Also, quite famously, people think that they kind of went downhill after the first one, and Reloaded and Revolution's not doing nearly as well. A lot of people still think that the original is the best, and I am one to agree with them. And now they've made a fourth. I am here to tell you that yes, the original trilogy from 1999 to 2003 is very flawed. But there's a coherent story and it all follows the same narrative. I am here now to unfortunately tell you that that has now changed. Yes, I understand. I believe this is my 5th week of being away. I'm not very constant at uploads anyway, but don't judge me. As you can see from behind, I have moved house. It takes quite a while, especially here in the UK, and once you're settled, that's it. But right here, there's still boxes. It's taking a long time, and this is my new studio room, so it's taken a little bit of time to set it up. This isn't 100% complete. This kookiness on this, I'm now on a couch. I used to be on a weird little plinth thing. It's all changed. So I saw The Matrix when it came out at the end of December. Yes, it's been a while, but it's January. Things are lulling down because everyone's trying to get their artsy-fartsy shit in for the Oscars in March. So I thought my point can still stand here, and if the cynical drinker can bring out a video a couple of weeks ago about it, why can't I do one now? So bear with me, but I think my point still stands. A little bit about my relationship with The Matrix. I do own all 3 on DVD. It's been a while. This one up here, I think my mum bought it for me, the first DVD I ever owned, that and Fast and the Furious. I've got a good relationship with The Matrix. The amount of times that DVD has been used, well, it's more worn out than Pamela Anderson's sex tape. That thing there has been played a lot. I love that film. I love the original trilogy. I know it's flawed, but I think it's great. It's very coherent. It knows what it's doing. And it had a long story to tell, and the Wachowskis seemed to care. And when I saw the trailer for this, I was so excited. I knew they were bringing Neo back. Trinity was in there. I wanted to know how they were bringing her in. There was many questions, and I'm so glad we were going to go into it, and we're going to answer some new questions about some of the older characters, especially Neo, because you know what happens at the end of Revolutions. I was so excited to see all that, but now I can see why I never really watched trailers, because this lied to me. Don't get me wrong, like I said, it is lovely to see Keanu Reeves back, Carrie Moss is back. I like seeing, however weird she is at the moment, Jada Pinkett Smith back as Niobe. There's some cool cameos in there, but I almost think like it's only Lily Wachowski that's done this movie. The Wachowskis were not together in this one. I almost think that she almost kind of didn't have the think tank of her sister to help with, you know, nailing it all down. It was philosophical and, you know, somewhat godlike in the original 3, but in this one it's trying to be too clever. Now going forward there will be spoilers because I need to put this bit across for myself. So to bring Neo back, they have made Neo the creator of the original trilogy. He made it a super realistic, lifelike video game, and he is the architect to it. However clever that might be, they rely solely and heavily on original, mainly from the first film. They rely solely on clips from it. They're relying on the old films to sell the new one, which to me feels like Lily didn't have the confidence in this film without the other three, if that makes sense. If you're going to make another trilogy, try not to use actual footage. That's like watching The Force Awakens and then they just put scenes of Uncle Owen and Luke in it in the background while Daisy Ridley's running around with John Boyega. You know, you can't rely to the point where they're making it meta, but you can tell when they're making it, they're going, we're being so meta, this is clever. No, it feels lazy that you're having to use that. And Neo is this unstoppable machine, right? So in the first two, well, especially in Reloaded, right, the fight with all the Smiths and, you know, the fight in the Merovingians with all of his people and all the knives and stuff, it was all this. There's TikToks about this. He's going mad. And in this one, he just stops bullet time everywhere. It's almost like Keanu Reeves is 52 now, and he can't actually move like he used to anymore. So just make him bullet time and force bullets because that's easier. It's being easier and lazy. That, to me, for a Wachowski's movie, seems really off kilter for them. This is really disappointing because what I think they could have done, and I'm not a Hollywood writer here, obviously, I think rather than the whole story, right, and it's been out for ages and it's near the end of January, if you haven't seen it then go and watch it and yeah, tell me later. The whole story is Neo has seen Trinity in the Matrix. He's pulled out of the Matrix, so she knows she's alive in there. So the whole story is him getting a group of new characters who are in the new version of the Matrix, because as we know, it resets every time it's destroyed. Those new characters help Neo at the cost of some of their own lives, a person that is a legend, yes, but they're risking their lives, and he doesn't seem to care all that much about it. All he wants to do is get Trinity back. That's the entire story. I want Trinity so me and her can do stuff together. That's it. Well, some of the actual characters in this are fantastic. They are new, refreshing, of this century, you know. 1999, that's 20 years ago, whatever. It's a very old film. You can use the new generation, which they have in these new characters, but they've made it all about Neo. I would have liked it if they'd switched it. They were in trouble again with the Sentinels, and the only person they know that, you know, has destroyed them is Neo. Let's see, as we've seen Neo in the Matrix, let's see if we can find him and get him out to help us again. But they've made it about Trinity. It's just, you've done that already. You did it 3 times. I don't need to see him go for Trinity again. Make him, he's an all-powerful The One from the last version of The Matrix. And you've just gone, oh yeah, I know, but I really want Carrie Moss back. It just seems lazy to me. It really does. Disappointing. It's like an easy fix as far as I can tell, but I'm not Lily Wachowski, so... Oh. And talking earlier about older characters... Lawrence Fishburne was not asked to come back for this new film. Instead, they got a new actor in and made Morpheus a computer program because the original Morpheus had been killed or died. So there's a shrine to him now. I almost feel like if you're going to get Carrie Moss and Keanu Reeves back, just get Lawrence Fishburne. We all need him. Like, you know, we all want it. We wanted all 3 of them back again. But you were this close, and it just seems so lazily written. They've just gone, there, well, died, didn't he? You know? He's a pivotal part. And the main reason Neo even exists is because Morpheus wanted him and he believed in him. They've gone, fuck it, can't afford him, or whatever it might be. It's just like, I wanted him. Come on. There has to be a reason. I'd love to know it, but apparently he just didn't ask him. That's, for me, is a kick in the face, which really, I think, severely hurt the film. They just kind of brushed over him. It's not that much. time in the film that they take to talk about him. Honestly, it's not. All of this bad stuff being said, yes, I am being quite negative at the moment, but honestly, there's a couple of really controversial things that I actually enjoyed in The Matrix. So in The Matrix Resurrections, not everyone comes back. Obviously, I've just said about Morpheus. Also, Hugo Weaving doesn't come back as Smith. And the architect is played by Neil Patrick Harris, not that Colonel Sanders looking dude in the original trilogy. I liked Neil Patrick Harris. I love him in How I Met Your Mother anyway, and he's Doogie Howser, and I think he's brilliant and very funny and a very good personality. Some of the stuff, yeah, the CGI is a little bit janky. There's a Corridor Crew video all about that, talking about him. The bullet time stuff they do with him, I think, is really inventive. It's, you don't have to keep doing the bendy shit and, you know, all the stuff from the original. This is what I wanted, a bit of originality in this fourth installment. I think they gave a lot of that to the architect, and how sort of new and cool they made him, and made this younger person who's really clever, and you know, he's got a cat called Deja Vu, and you know it from that one. I think it's quite clever, and I think he's a really competent actor. He looked like he really enjoyed it as well. And as I said earlier, Hugo Weaving is not back as Agent Smith this time. That's a huge loss. We do like Hugo Weaving as Smith, but he doesn't come back for a lot of stuff. It's just what he does, and after stuff like Mortal Engines, it's just fine, whatever, don't, just stay away if you keep doing shit. But he has been replaced by my love and my sweetheart and my soulmate, Jonathan Groff, who was, for a man who's not huge in terms of bulkiness or look like someone who could fight or anything, he's really fucking cool, I think, in this film. There's a fight in like a dilapidated bathroom between him and Neo. That's great fun. He's actually intimidating, and the last time I saw him was as Kristoff in Frozen 2 and as the King in Hamilton. So kudos to him. He's awesome, and I've kind of got a crush on the man. He's amazing. Guys, I don't give out scores anymore, I just give out recommendations. This is a confusing one for me. I think if you like the original trilogy, you have to go and see it, because it's a rite and passage, I think, really. Just out of curiosity's sake, that's what I did. But if you're just going into it thinking, that's a cool sci-fi film, don't bother. It's not worth your time. It's trying way too hard to be serious and confusing and as psychological and philosophical as the originals were. But it just doesn't work. I think it's lazy and relies way too much on the original version. If you want to see it, fine, but honestly, I'm going to get it on Blu-ray just to complete the set, and I'm probably never going to watch it or take it out of the plastic. It's a shame. They could have done so much more. The ending was very neat and tied in a bow and lovely and jubbly, but you could have done so much with the new characters. You decided to stick with the old. Because if you'd done good with new characters, it could have been anything. TV, series. The possibilities would have been endless. There was no such thing as streaming in '99. There is now. That would have been great. But they didn't. They stuck with Keanu, and we got what we got. So if you have seen The Matrix Resurrections, then please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to talk about it. Now that I'm in this studio setup, yeah, the angles and stuff aren't quite right yet, and my setup isn't complete. This will be grey at some stage and lovely, but I just needed to get a video out there because 5 weeks is taking the piss. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will hopefully be uploading a little bit more now. It's just getting all this shit set up. If you've moved house, you know. So guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm still trying to catch Chris Stuckman, and I don't get there because he keeps uploading and I can't keep up with him. Bloody Americans. Until next time, guys, this is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out.